mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Fuhrer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Join On the Block and Old School live from Scissors and Scotch on 30th and Yankee Hill on Thursday, June 6th to celebrate their grand opening. Feel better instantly with a beard trim, haircut, or a traditional shave courtesy of the experienced and professional barbers at Scissors and Scotch. Stick around after your cut and enjoy a beverage in their cozy bar area, and don't worry, there's more than just Scotch. Spend your afternoon with Scissors and Scotch at 93.7 The Ticket, live on location June 6th from 2 to 6 p.m.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars: Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post. Here are your hosts, Executive Director John Goodwin and Athletic Director Michael Hunter. The Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Malone Radio Show. I am the CEO, John Goodwin, and Michael Hunter is not with us tonight. Harrison, I don't understand.
Starting to pick it up how he rolls.
Yeah, you know, he tried calling me and FaceTiming me like I'm already on, man. You're too late. Hey, but big shouts out to him. He is out there at camp with his son out in Missouri and Kansas City. So wishing luck to little Mikey out there. That little man, he has some great feet. He runs crisp routes. So I'm expecting for some really great news. But let's get on to Mike might call in. I'm not sure what Mike is going to be doing because, Mike do what he want to do.
Yeah, text it too if you guys want to. 402-464-5685. As we still got Royals on the brick and mortar of the airwaves. Should be wrapping up shortly here. So as soon as that does, we'll hop back on the FM airwaves, but still streaming Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, Channel 961. You guys can comment along as you have been all night long.
Harrison is the man. He is the man. Now, listen, I need to comment on something before we get started. That wing challenge from yesterday.
It's so funny to watch.
I tuned in, Chance, and my son was on here. And I told him not to be a punk. I said, look, man, finish the wings. You left the wings. You left one little bite, all the meat on the wings. It's like, finish the wings. Like, it's not that hot. Well, I got a call from DP today. And DP, in his office, he was telling me, he said, man, you might want to do it. I've done it plenty of times. Harrison, you've done it, what, 3?
3 times now, yep.
3 times. And I sat at the house and I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm not doing that. She said, yeah, you are. I said, you know what? I probably will. Because you done
that easy, huh?
I don't understand why I want to do it, but I think that I can do it. I can hold my own with hot wings. But to watch those young men last night, I laughed so hard. They were coming out of their clothes. But God, it was 93.7 the ticket. Don't know what they were doing. But they're coming out their clothes, walking outside, crying, drinking almond milk.
Yeah, did you catch what Brewington and Megan Walker had to say when they were pacing out there?
What were they saying?
They thought about splitting. They thought about just getting to the cars and getting out of there, and they'll cover the rest of the show. I mean, they were hurting.
Getting ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Now, look, y'all gonna let the spice run y'all up out of here. Listen, I'm gonna get 4. I told DP, this is what I said. I'm gonna get 3 more guys or ladies
The girls handle it better.
To do this challenge with me.
I don't know what it is. Girls handle it better.
They do.
So get guys. It'd be funnier. You can get a girl in here just to prove them wrong.
Girls handle pain a lot better than guys.
Maybe that's what it is. Because every single round of because we've had plenty of male athletes and girl athletes do it, or just wherever they came from. The girls always handle it better. I mean, Kinsey Davis, she's probably 120 pounds, is making Kyle Perry, pitcher for Nebraska baseball, look like a fool. They just no problem.
That's the thing. That's the thing. When it comes to sickness, I mean, women they just handled it better. I will give that to them. They just deal with pain a lot better. Man, listen, they give birth. What do we do that will match that? I don't think we.
There's one clear example, but I won't say it.
Right. I mean, so it comes to the point to where that is expected, but I'm always up for the challenge. I won't do the chip challenge because I saw what it did to Shaq.
Yeah, don't ever do the chip.
And you said that the chip was real bad, so
Worse.
I definitely won't do that. But give me them wings. I'm not scared of no wings.
Before you sign up, before we get to our guest here, just keep in mind that from wing, you start about 1,700 Scoville, so you get to wing 8. That's like the bomb when things really ratchet up. That's about over 500,000, 600,000 Scoville, and then from wing 9 to 10. It's a 2 million Scoville jump. And that's just how they measure heat.
Harrison, I work at the Malone Center.
Right.
When you work at the Malone and you...
I can't wait to watch this.
When you work
I'm going to remind you.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, when you work at the Malone Center, you can handle it all. We've seen it. We've done it. Listen, a little heat on the tongue. Listen, look, we work at the Malone Center. I'm sorry.
When you reach for that water, I'm going to slap it out of your hand. He don't need it.
Hey,
he works for Malone.
I work for maybe the milk, but let a brother get a drink of water. Let a brother get a drink of water. This is the Malone Radio Show. If you just tuned in, as our vision is to create unity and prosperity throughout Lincoln while honoring our African-American heritage. And the mission is to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. And we do that with the holistic programs that we offer, from preschool to teen programs, out-of-school programs, maternal wellness programs, We sports programs, health and healing programs, mental health. We do a lot for the community and outside of this community. And so, but tonight we again we have a special guest that I am going to. I told her before we got on the show, Harrison. I said, listen, I am terrible with names. I can take a stab at it, but you know what? I'm not, because I've been saying Z for so long, Z, and she answers to it, and I don't know, if she really want me to call her Z, but I really want her to introduce herself tonight. We are excited to have this special guest tonight, and we're going to dive in. So please get your pencil and paper ready to take copious notes, so we can, so you can actually learn from this individual. I was going to say young lady, but she is a lady. How Shanae said, "Oh, my lady," and that's exactly who she is tonight. Please introduce yourself, special guest.
My name is Zainab Funa, and I am the founder and president of Black is Beautiful Nebraska.
Black is Beautiful Nebraska. Now, listen, we're going to dive into that, because I was trying to ask some questions before we got started, but we're going to ask these questions while we on the air. But I'm going to call you Z. I'm going to call you Z for short.
Okay.
Because I was getting ready to say the name again. And Harrison, I know I was getting ready to mess it up. Don't want to disrespect. So I definitely want to give honor to honor is due. She's a phenomenal, I was going to say young lady, but a lady that is doing great things in this community. But I first want to start off, how and where are you from? Let's start off where are you from? The schools, because we like to give shout outs to all the elementaries and high schools, so people that know where people are from in the community, and then we'll dive in. So where exactly are you from?
Yeah, thank you. So I am born and raised from Lincoln, Nebraska. I went to Holmes Elementary, Leffler Middle School, and then Lincoln High.
Another link, Harrison. That's right on 22nd and J, for those who didn't know. So what did you do?
I don't get involved in the Lincoln politics, man. I'm Northeast Nebraska. I don't know.
What did you do in high school? Tell us about your high school career and how some of the things that you did in high school.
Yeah, so coming from Leffler Middle School, I would say was a big change. A lot of the people from there that went to Lincoln High didn't come from Leffler, and a lot of my friends went to Southeast. And so it was a big change for me, and that's kind of when I started getting involved in new things with new people. I started dance team, and then that kind of fell into me joining the track team later on when dance team ended, and my parents said, you got to keep a sport in there somehow. So I joined the track team, and then I had joined like a Red Cross club and just some leadership clubs, and that's kind of where I started getting really involved in school.
So you mentioned dance. So when did you start dance, and what inspired you to do dance?
So I started dance in about third grade. I had started it when I was very, very little. Before that, and I was doing like mommy and me classes. And then when it got to that point and my mom wasn't able to be in the classes, I quit. And then I got to third grade and I saw the other girls dancing and it looked super fun. I wanted to do something that was active. And so I joined a studio that my friend was at. And that's kind of when I I fell in love with it again. And so I had done dance since the third grade all the way up until my senior year of high school.
Dance is a sport. I'm going to say that dance is a sport. It's a workout for sure. Even if I'm two-stepping, my legs get to burning. So that's just a two-step. That's just a Chi-Town two-step, so let alone doing, what type of dance were you doing?
So when I started out, it started with ballet, and then it turned into point, which is another type of ballet. And then it kind of trickled down and it became jazz and hip hop and contemporary and literally tap, all of the above by the time I was,
wow,
like I would say in fifth grade. I kept adding on a new style every year, and then I liked all of them. So I wanted to do all of them.
You did them all.
Yeah.
You were like the, what is her name? Not Paula Abdul. Debbie Allen. Debbie, I don't know.
I wasn't
I'm
gonna be able
probably
to pull that
yeah.
one.
I think y'all. Yeah, I forgot y'all not my age, but if y'all remember Fame, look it up. Google Fame, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Leroy and all them guys at Debbie Allen. But tap dance is it still popular today? I mean, I don't see a lot of people doing tap.
I would say not as much. There's clogging, which is a little bit different. It's just a different style, and the type of shoes you wear and the types of moves that you do are a little bit different. They're a little bit more hardcore, I would say, than tap. And I would say
Okay.
clogging has become really popular compared to tap dance.
Now, what's the comparisons between the two? Is it more difficult, or is it?
I would say clogging is definitely more difficult.
See,
I never clogged personally, but I had a friend in high school who did it, and she was amazing. So
clogging. I've you know what? This is the first time I've heard of that.
What's the difference between the shoes, between tap shoes and clogging shoes?
I think it's the way that they bend, and then it's like the size and the way that they tap on the floor. It's also just like the style, like, and the types of moves. You would kind of understand it a little bit better if you were in dance, but there's like names obviously of every different type of move that you do. And so clogging is I would say is a little bit more hardcore than tap dancing.
And you got into that at an early age.
Yeah, I would a pretty early age.
So you had the opportunity to get into those two. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, again, I think the both of us is trying to just give people opportunities. And we're going to talk a little bit about more about that. But as you got into it, you got older, you said high school, and you started from dance to running track.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. I had a few other sports like in there here and there that I would try stuff and then I'd be like, this is not for me. But track in high school, the track season kind of starts at end of February, beginning of March, and that's when dance season ends. So it was perfect for me because it aligned with my schedule really well. And I started track freshman year, and I had kind of dabbled in it in middle school, but I didn't really take it seriously. And so I wanted to take it serious once I got into high school. And if you ask Coach White, my track coach from high school, he would say that I looked like a freshman when I started out. And I was very uncoordinated. I didn't have good form. I was just a mess. And that kind of pushed me because I saw other people doing so well that were like seniors and juniors, and I wanted to be like them. And so that pushed me. I did some summer training with a trainer, and I was like, I seriously want to take track serious. And
Okay. How can a person that has done dance all their life not have coordination? First off, shouts out to Coach White, who was coaching at Lincoln High for I think 80 years. So Coach White, if you're listening, big shouts out to you. Coach White been there, I don't know, way before 1930, and he didn't age. So whatever he was doing, that was okay. So big shouts out. But tell me that, because when you say you wasn't coordinated, I'm thinking like, man, you was doing ballet, you was clogging or whatever. You was tap dancing, you was doing the stinky leg. I mean, you were doing all of these different dances. So how can you not be coordinated with track?
I would say the types of coordination with your body are very different. In dance, it's more of like a flow and flexibility and like hitting sharp movements here and there. And with track, it's more like you need to have straight form. Your arms need to be like in, and you have a specific type of form. I would say a big difference that I found is when you're running in track, your coaches are always like toe up, toe up, toe up. And in dance, it's the complete opposite. You're pointing your toe, point your toe, point your toe. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me, was changing that kind of dynamic in my body. But then I went through all of high school doing dance and track together, and it was just having to kind of flip that switch in my brain of this is what I'm doing now and this is what I'm doing at this time between the two.
Wow. And you did track all 4 years?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is that the only sport that you did in high school?
Yeah, other than dance team.
And other than the dance team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with sports, you talked about sports. You had a nice career, great career in track. Definitely dancing. We definitely need to see some videos of that, because that's the first time I didn't know that you danced. That's really cool. And there's probably some young ladies out here who wants to get into dance. So that would probably be a good way of maybe showing some skill sets, or maybe them talking to you to figure out, how can they get into something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And so in high school, what else did you do in your high school career?
So in high school was also when I did end up starting this nonprofit.
What year were you?
I was a junior in high school.
Junior in
So
high
I was 16 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was going on 17. I was closer to 17. So, but yeah, I started it in my junior year of high school. That was kind of right after COVID. So COVID happened the spring semester of my sophomore year. And then the summer is kind of what pushed me to start into this. I had actually done a photo shoot and gotten a bunch of girls who are African American identifying in Lincoln area that kind of ranged from ages 14 to 20. And I got them together in a photo shoot and just wanted to take pictures to emphasize like how beautiful we are in our own skin, and just kind of show the community like this is who we are. And in my mind, it was a really small project that grew into something way bigger than I could have ever imagined. And so from that is where the Lincoln Journal Star had interviewed me, and they ended up coming to that event and took pictures.
So wait a minute. No, wait, you just didn't just wake up and say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna take some pictures of some of these." No, okay.
Yes.
So what inspired you to say, okay, at 16, I'm gonna say 16, going on 17, to say, you know what, I'm about to start me a nonprofit. What gave you that? Who did you talk to, or who were you around, or what happened in your life? What experience in your life to say, hey, I'm about to start this nonprofit?
Okay, yeah. I was getting a little ahead of myself.
We're gonna take steps with this, because the people that are listening may have their own dream or idea, and they really need to understand the steps to it and what needs to happen, and don't give up on yourself. Like if you have a dream or something. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, I mean, I would say the first things that started for me I would say this was years of dreams and imaginations and just different thought processes. Obviously, the middle school and elementary schools that I went to were not very diverse at all. I had an interesting experience with that. And I had always gone through different things, not feeling welcome or not feeling like I had the right group fit. And I also come from a biracial background. So it was always, do I fit in with the white kids? Do I fit in with the black kids? The black kids are saying I talk white. The white kids are saying you're black. And so it was just kind of finding that area of comfortableness. And I feel like I started finding the people that I really connected well with and who understood me once I got to Lincoln High, which a lot of people know for being a very diverse school, very open, welcoming to anybody and everybody. And so at that point, it was like I was finding who kind of motivated me, who was around me. For this photo shoot, I hadn't quite started the nonprofit yet when it went on.
Who motivated you?
But yeah, that's where I was getting to is my mom actually showed me a picture on Instagram, and it was just a picture of all these black women together. And she was just like, how cool is this? And then I was like, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. And she looked at me and was like, you can do that. And I told her, I said, no way, I don't think so. And she said, you can do that. You know people in Lincoln and have the right connections to be able to do that. And she was like, I would say my first push into wanting to do it. And that's also when the George Floyd protests were going on. And I just felt like the community had kind of started to lose itself, and the community as a whole of we needed to come together. And I wanted to put something out that was positive to look at and that could inspire other people. And so that's kind of where the photo shoot initiated from, and what kind of trickled down into being the nonprofit.
Well, that's a good way to stop right there. We're going to take a quick break. And we're going to dive a little bit more into your nonprofit and why you're doing what you're doing. This is the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Pre-order your Hog Wild slow smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the enrollment fee. The next challenge begins on March 23rd. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Cover more acres with a pre-owned sprayer or planter from Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer. We offer one of the area's largest selections of used sprayers, applicators, planters, and seeders. Through the month of March, take advantage of fixed-rate financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver. Visit your local Landmark Implement location or view our complete sprayer and seeding inventory online at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Fuhrer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Now back to the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. We are back with our special guest, Miss Z, the owner and CEO of Black and Beautiful Nebraska. We're going to talk a little bit more about that because she hit on that before we went on to commercial. Give us a little bit more information on your nonprofit, Black Beautiful.
Yeah. So just kind of, I guess, to wrap up the story of how it started is I put together that photo shoot. It got picked up by Lincoln Journal-Star.
Okay.
And every year they do the Women's Inspire Awards. And so I ended up getting nominated for that. And I won the Lincoln's Inspire Awards, specifically the Founders Award. And normally they have an award that's specifically for students. And I was the youngest person to ever win this Founders Award. And so basically with that, it was for somebody who was doing great things in the community and building community. And so I ended up getting a donation from Huddle through that. And that's what kind of boosted my takeoff of, okay, so they gave me this donation to continue what I'm doing. How can I do more than just a photo shoot? And so as I was sitting and kind of generating ideas of, I could put this project together, I could do this, I could do that, I came to the conclusion of, well, with a nonprofit, I can do all of this. And I can have all these ideas, but with a nonprofit, you can raise money to continue doing projects like this and being involved in the community. And so I ended up starting that nonprofit. I did that more so with a lot of my own money. And I took that $500 and I put it back into our first scholarship. So we started making scholarships that we were also giving to Black students that were graduating high school, specifically Nebraska residents, to really gear it towards the students here and students that looked like me and were experiencing some of the same things that I was experiencing. And so that's kind of where it started off. And we started off with one scholarship that was $500, and then it's just grown from there. The next year we were able to give away 3 scholarships that kind of were a little bit over $2,000 in total. Last year was our 3rd year giving them away, and we were able to give away 4 $1,000 scholarships, so $4,000 in total. And then this year we'll be giving away $5,000 to 5 students. And we were able to add on a new scholarship that's for Black undergraduate students that are attending a Nebraska university or college. So we were able to still have those 4 from high school. And then we just added on being able to have one more scholarship this year, specifically going to those undergrad students.
That is so awesome that one, you invested in yourself. That's one of the things that I caught from when you were saying that I had to use some of my own money, right? You invested into your own business, into your own dream, your own vision. And before I think we expect other people to give into your vision or to invest into your dream, you first have to do it you have to take the first initiative. Like if I can't expect nobody else to invest in what I believe in if I'm not investing in myself. And what you're saying is that you took some of your money and used it to what you're doing right now and to give out scholarships to young ladies. And
And men as well.
And
Yep.
and young men, I'm gonna say this, that sometimes young ladies are not the focus sometimes, because when you're dealing with, coming from a man, from myself, and just, we always focus on the young man. This program is for him. This program is for him. This is for him. But the young ladies sometimes are forgotten about, and we have to do a better job in the communities and in our families to really uphold and encourage our young ladies. And what you're doing at an early age, started at 16, um, you're setting the tone for a community to catch up in making sure that we celebrate our young ladies. It's easy to do for the young men. We do it all the time, especially when they're in sports, right? But we fail to forget, not all of us, but at times, to really celebrate those young ladies. There's a lot of young ladies who are growing up with no fathers, some no mothers, and they look at themselves, they get picked on at school, if their hair too short, or they may say their hair look nappy, or their skin too dark, or their skin too light, or their lips too big, or their lips too small, whatever the case that may be. They need to be told that they're beautiful, who they are, right? It's only one you. Be the best you on the planet. You are the best you on the planet. And we're not here to act like someone else. We're here to act like who we were designed to act like, which is us, individually. And what you're doing is using this platform you've created, that the city has acknowledged, and that Huddle has acknowledged, that, hey, this is something great that you're doing. So I applaud you, especially as a African-American man, to keep and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because it's needed. It's not enough of it. And we need to set the tone and have higher standards, and being able to celebrate our young ladies, because we are losing our young ladies just like we losing our young men. And so they need to be celebrated, and they need to know that they're beautiful, but they also need to know who they really are. And I think that's what you're doing in what you're, Black is Beautiful, Nebraska. I like the / Nebraska. I'm just going to say Black is Beautiful, because it's just not the skin. People say, oh, Black is beautiful. It's just not the skin we're talking about that's beautiful, right? It's their soul. It's their creativity. It's their abilities to do whatever they set their mind to do. And what you have done is give that example, not just to young ladies, but to young men as well, to say, man, if she can do it, I can do it too. Like, if I really set my mind on something, all you needed was a push. And that's what you're giving and providing every individual that you're giving scholarships to. You're doing the same thing that your mom did to you. You've given she pushed you. What you're doing is giving a push. So those scholarships is a push, right? To say, look, I'm encouraging you to find your gift and to operate in your gift, to be deployed to the world. I think you're doing a great job. And I applaud you for what you're doing. And it needs to be more of that in our communities, not just Lincoln, but in our communities, in our culture, to be able to support each other, because sometimes we don't get that support.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So
I mean, it's
taking it all in. Yeah.
Because we don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. We don't say, you know what, great job. I'm over here at the Malone Center doing something totally different than what you're doing. Your focus is on this. My focus is on other things, right? I may cook collard greens over here. You may cook cabbage over here, right? And why can we not at some point come together and I'm leading into something here, because that's what we're doing, to to say, hey, let's do it together. Let's encourage. I may not have gotten the $5, but you did. So I'm happy for you because it's the same vision or the work that we're trying to do in this community. It's just coming from a different person and a different organization. But we have to, as people, have to encourage each other. Encourage each other's business. If you're making sweets, hey, how can we help? If you're making, if somebody want to tap dance, okay, how can we help? It used to be a time way before me. Now I'm 48 years old, so it ain't like, but way before me, where people that just supported each other, especially in communities, our communities, even from discipline, being able to discipline each other's kids. Trust me, my neighbors got a hold of me a few times, and then I got it again when my parents got home. To be able to correct each other, right? And that correction is out of love, not hate, out of love. And so we just need to do more of that. And so for you to say what you're saying, I am excited for you because you're able to give out these scholarships and you're able to push people into their gift and what they're going to become. They'll never forget that. So when you look back and when you're in your 30s, there may be somebody coming up in their 20s and saying, thank you, because you just don't know what that push is doing. Your mom, she pushed you. She didn't know what the push was probably going to do, but she pushed you, and look where you are. But that's phenomenal. I mean, that Black is beautiful. And so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit about the events that's going on. How can they get involved with what's going on with you? This hour has gone too fast. Harrison, do something about this, man. We'll be back right after this.
Strain our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes? Their age? The way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. I don't care how many times you play that, Harrison. That when that come in, boom, it just does something to me. I want to do a little something, but I know I can't before I stretch. 93.7 The Ticket, the Malone Radio Show. We're here with the owner and founder of Black and Beautiful. I call her Miss Z. I don't want to mess the name up. Black and Beautiful. So what upcoming events is going on that maybe when you're out there, people can come see what you're doing?
Yeah. So apart from giving away scholarships, one of our main goals and missions is to uplift Black representation through visual statements. And so we are putting together a couple of events. I'll kind of just start in the order. Obviously, tomorrow we have Give to Lincoln Day. We're involved in that. We will have a table at the town square downtown, so you can come see us, hang out, look at the other nonprofits. That's kind of a really big thing that goes on with Lincoln, obviously, with a lot of nonprofits, since that's kind of where you raise money and then you get that proportion of a match fund, which is really, really great what Lincoln Community Foundation does from that standpoint. So that's tomorrow. And then our next event will be on Friday, June 7th. And that is our first Juneteenth event of the year. And that one is an art gallery at the Turbine Flats. And so that one, there's kind of a theme to it. It's called the Juneteenth Show, Memories of Community. And so we have a bunch of different featured artists that will be there featuring some of their art. It will be for sale. And then a portion of those funds do go back to the nonprofit to support those scholarships and support our events.
Sweet.
And then we're lucky enough this year to have a live pianist, an artist, Jonathan Leach. He also sings.
Okay.
And so he'll be at that event, and there will be refreshments, snacks. You can look at the art, kind of hang around. That one's like a really gallery type art show, which is really fun, and it features just all Black artists that are in Lincoln and Omaha areas. So that's one of our really good events that I love to put on.
And where's
So
that at again?
the Turbine Flats.
Okay.
I should have written down the actual address, but it's over on Y Street. It's connected to Reactor Coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next thing we'll be doing is we're going to be involved at the Malone for that Juneteenth event on Saturday. We'll have a booth. We'll be there. You can come say hi, hang out, dance, listen to music. And then we have our big, huge Juneteenth celebration, which will be on Sunday, June 16th. So the day after. And that one is in the rail yard, and we get that space donated to us by the Lincoln Arts Festival. So they take up all of Canopy Street with a bunch of artists, and then we invite a bunch of people to the rail yard space. So this will involve Black artists selling and showing their art. We have Black run and Black founded nonprofits that will be there, Black owned businesses that are a little bit on the smaller side to get their names out there. And that can be from sweet treats to fashion. And then we have a food vendor that works out of the Longwell's Kitchen, Cholivia's Kitchen, and he's a smaller Black-owned food business as well. And with that, I actually can announce on here that we had a special sponsor, Ben Bleicher from Professional Realty Group, and he is sponsoring for us to be able to give away 100 free meals.
Wow.
Starting at that event on June 16th. And so that event runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. all day, but we'll be able to give 100 free meals to the first people who come to that. And so it'll be like small burger and fries, or wings and fries, or jollof rice. So that's super cool that we're getting to do this year. And then we have like kids stations, face painting, and we got a new addition this year as well to add to that event. Is there's going to be hair braiding, but like at a very simple level, just like 2 Dutch braids. If you want to come get your hair braided, you can pay $10, and all the proceeds from that will go back into the nonprofit, which will be super exciting.
That's a great price, $10, because I charge $15. So y'all might want to get down there. Get down there.
Yeah.
And
We'll be out there all day as well. So Tick will be down there. Obviously, we'll have plenty of nonprofits down there. It should be a good time. I highly recommend everybody check it out. And again, shout out to Ben Bleicher, Berkshire Hathaway Professional Realty Group.
Yes.
He's really big in helping out the community.
Yeah, he's great. And then, at that event too, at 2 p.m., we'll be announcing this year's scholarship winners publicly. So if they got the scholarship, they already know. That's kind of one of my favorite things, is calling them to let them know, like, hey, you received the scholarship, like, this is how it's going, and you guys are free to come. And their reactions are just so priceless. I would say that's one of my favorite things to do every year, is to personally call them and say, hey, we want to invite you to this event so we can publicly announce you. And so that was really exciting, and we'll get to do that at this event as well.
Listen, there's a lot going on. Real quick, if they want to reach you, how can they reach you?
Instagram and Facebook is Black is Beautiful NE. And then website is blackisbeautifulne.org.
Listen, this has been a great show. I'm saddened that is about to be over. But let me just say this: big shouts out to Black is Beautiful Nebraska. Z, you're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Be there. The 7th, Turbine Flats, the Malone at Woods, and then the rail yard. Listen, y'all have a great night. This has been the Malone Radio Show, 93.7 The Ticket.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each